Hi, this is Scott Gietler from Bluewater Photo. I am very excited because today I have with me the brand new Olympus TG-5 camera and the TG-5 housing. Why is the TG-5 so awesome? Why am I so excited about this? Because the TG-4 was one of the most popular, compact, inexpensive underwater setups for beginners and intermediate photographers alike who want to go underwater. And the TG-5 improves on that while keeping everything I loved about the TG-4. So let's delve right into what is so awesome. First of all, the TG-5 adds 4K video, which the TG-4 did not have. It also adds 120 frames per second slow motion video capability in full HD, which is great for fish, for slowing them down for underwater. So really like that they can do 120 frames per second. It also implements something new called the field sensor system. And the field sensor system, the camera actually has the ability to measure the GPS where you are, the altitude or the depth underwater, and the temperature. So you can turn on data logging and it will log and record all this information so you can know exactly your height or your depth, where you are, temperature, things like that, which I think is pretty incredible because I have a hard time remembering those kinds of details from my photos, especially when I'm underwater. We haven't fully tested out how well that works at depth, but we'll be doing that, and it somehow measures the pressure and claims that it's accurate within 1 meter. So that's a really cool feature we're excited about. Just like the TG-4, this camera will shoot in RAW. It has great macro capability, good white balance, video quality is nice. The only thing this camera does not have is full manual controls. So if you really want to be able to take your photography to the next level, that's when you look at an RX100 or a G7X2 or a mirrorless camera or a DSLR. But for the more casual shooters, this is a very capable camera at a very nice price. Although I will say the TG-4, we still have a few left and it's a lot less expensive. So if you don't feel you really need the 4K video capability, contact us about getting one of the last few TG-4 bundle packages with the housing. So back to the TG-5 camera and housing. This camera is waterproof, shockproof, but I highly recommend the housing if you're going to do anything other than snorkel with it. The housing gives you a lot better grip to hang on to, ability to use flashes, lenses, and past a certain depth, you just don't want to take the chance that this camera could flood on an expensive trip. So this is probably by far the best quality $299 housing I've ever used. I love the TG-3 housing, the TG-4 housing, and this housing is pretty much the same. It's just as good. Let's see what comes with the housing. You have a little wrist lanyard, so you can lanyard it to your wrist and not lose it underwater. You have some O-ring grease, which you will need to keep your O-ring lubricated to prevent flooding. It comes with a little fiber optic mask, so you can attach fiber optic cables to fire strobes, and it has inserts so you can use CNC strobes, Inon strobes, Symbiosis, iTorch, whichever kinds of strobes you want. And it also has a little wide angle lens adapter that goes on the camera in case you want to use a wide angle lens on the camera, but I suggest using it on the housing, which we'll get to in a moment. So speaking of the housing, this is a great housing, very easy to open, and the housing really lets you control. There we go. See how simple that was to put the camera in the housing? The camera allows you to have full functionality of the camera. Every control is supported. You can turn the camera on and off. You can turn the data logging on and off that records the temperature, your altitude, GPS, all that. I assume that uses more battery life, which is why you can turn it on and off. It lets you zoom here. You can change the mode. You can review your photo, change the settings. It has a nice little LCD blocker, so when the sun is really bright, it's a little easier to see the screen. You have what's called a cold shoe mount, so you can put a video light on there, a GoPro, whatever you'd like, but I do recommend getting a tray and a handle if you want to use a strobe. Has a nice little lens cap that stays on, that's lanyarded. The grip is really nice. It's really easy to one hand shoot. I love this shutter button. Like I said, if you are looking to spend well under $1,000 for a camera and a housing to take underwater, you cannot go wrong with this setup. I do recommend a wide angle lens. The UWL-04 fisheye lens screws right on here and gives fantastic results. So we carry the UWL-04 fisheye lens, so take a look at that. We've taken this underwater. We recently took it inside the Long Beach Aquarium in one of the tanks. So check our site for some video footage, some stills, some white balancing, and we'll be using this a lot more. So keep an eye out at bluewaterphotostore.com and pre-order your setup with us right now. Thanks. Any questions? Email sales@bluewaterphotostore.com.